It's Alex, and I've been working with iHomes for about 3.5 years. I'm one of the main project managers. I deal with majority of the projects that we have. We've expanded out as well in the recent sort of say about the last 6 months. So we've gotten a few new staff in. So yeah, we're starting to grow as a team as well, which is really exciting. And yeah, when I originally started, it was fairly small, and so now we're sort of expanding out a bit as well.
Great, yeah, that's interesting. And what sort of projects do you do, and what sort of clients do you work with? It's just good to be able to understand.
Yeah, so we are primarily in the residential space, doing all sorts of like apartments, could be houses, or a manor house, or big farmhouses. So yeah, that kind of space. And we also manage and service communal areas as well for some of the developments where there's the apartments in there. There's also the communal space. So there's a bit of the commercial aspect, but not predominantly is all around the residential. So.
Well, just to add a bit of information to that, just so you understand, as an AV software project management platform, we're now covering, I believe it's about 90% of the residential market. So it's a considerable amount. I've seen it change drastically over 6 months. Who knows where we're going to be in a couple of years' time. We also recognize that we are growing in the Pro AV side of things, and we're also in the US regularly. So as I said, I'm in the sales team. So how big exactly is the team? How many people have you got?
Yeah, I would have told you the answer like 6 months ago. It would have been like, off the top of my head, it was like 10, 11, but I think we're growing now, off the top of my head, around 17, something like that.
Great. Yeah. Okay. And are you operating solely in London, or are you operating in the UK? What's the market that you sort of operate in?
So yeah, we operate primarily London is the main base. We do service and we have projects across Europe as well, and Ireland, and yeah, but London is the primary business, and outside of London, our surrounding area too.
Great. Okay. And moving on to WeQuote specifically, before using WeQuote, how were you managing your quoting and sort of project flow?
Yeah. So when I originally joined here, we were using a platform called D-Tools.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a big company in America. So it was a different system. It felt more tailored to the American market than it did to the UK market. Yeah, in that moment, and I think obviously that's one of the reasons you changed.
What specific challenges or frustrations did you face with that old system?
Yeah, so sort of touch on that, but like basically around the fact that it's because of the focus is mainly American. It's the product that were there. We were constantly adding in new products that were not there. So at that time, we had to have a staff member basically dedicated to doing that job, which was maintaining pricing. Yeah, because we didn't have up to date. It wasn't up to date prices based in the UK and just from our suppliers. Yeah, and and that was probably the biggest challenge, I would say, from doing the quote, was you were spending most of the time maintaining your database. Yeah, of products, and having to add the product in, you'd have to add the image, have to do is, and it was quite slow.
It becomes quite long-winded.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
I suppose, as you know, what we're trying to do is we're trying to be lively with as many suppliers to users as possible, and obviously, we can price import very quickly. So yeah, we're on a WhatsApp group with every single one of our users, whether they're on free trial or whether they're paid.
Yes.
And we know that in this industry, time is of the essence. So you might need something to be done by the end of the day. We need a price import now.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the nature of the business, and we've got people doing that constantly. So
yes,
that makes sense. So you talked about the challenges of the business. Were there any particular moments that made you realize, like, was there one particular moment where maybe in the office it was like, right, we need a better solution?
Yeah,
this isn't working for us, or was it just having to build up over time, just trying to understand?
Yeah, I suppose it wasn't one moment, but there was a build up of, the fact that we were having to have a staff member to do this job for the data entry, but also the other part was the cost of it was extremely high. So, all the users we had, as a company, the idea is to expand out. We were seeing like, okay, we have to add another license. So yeah, that we had a limited number of seats, they basically call it seats or licenses, and that was constantly like, can you jump off, so there was even that touch point as well.
What made you decide to try WeQuote?
Yeah,
Which talks about why not on their softwares.
yeah, so I think that those things were culminating, and we were looking like, is there a better offering out there? And we went to EI Live with a colleague of mine and a couple of us at the time.
Yeah.
And we were quite adamant to try to see what else was there, because I think we were having this pain points, so we were trying to solve that.
Yeah.
And we'd heard there was some other products on the market, so I won't name the competitors, but there's another one that was there, you guys that were there, and that was it. We just went there to speak, and we went to D-Tools as well. We went there, so we spoke to them, we went to this other one, we went to you guys. And we got a really good vibe off of Lee, when we spoke to Lee, and I think the passion and the explanation and all the things that we were having trouble with, which is the data entry, which is like live link to the catalogs and all that. We were, and then the fact that you could have endless number of seats. So sure. So instantly we're like, they're the two issues we're having, and it's much cheaper. So we came back and pitched that to the company, and he was, I was like, 100%. It's a no-brainer at that point. So
that's good to hear. And then the next kind of question is, how was the onboarding set up for you? How did that process, working with the team? Yeah. How was that?
Yeah, it was really cool. It's quite interesting to work where it was like in that startup phase, I think, and it was really, they're really responsive. And it was also a lot of changes happening in that client, because it was the bare bones of what WeQuote is now. And we were like, we need to do this. And we would message the team, and then they would be like, we've implemented that, or we're working on that. And it would come in 2 weeks. And you're used to hearing that, I don't know, with other companies, it's like coming into weeks, but it was like, maybe a week and a half, and it would be like, boom, it's done. And we'd get a message on WhatsApp, or mainly was on the WhatsApp chats we were with our team, and they would just like straight on it. And even that, it hasn't changed. So.
Yeah. I mean, it just feels like the best communication channel, We have members and users across the globe. So there's one channel on WhatsApp where someone can be like, we need this, we need it now. We're not one of those companies that's going to say, it will come, because we sit right next to the developers. We turn around to the developers and we say, these guys, IAMs need this doing, and we'll get it done quickly. Yeah. So being responsive in this industry is really important. And from other competitors, we do hear a lot of pain points. Well, they're just not really doing what they've said they're in a pipeline. Yeah. So that's something that I've noticed from being there for 6 months. Yeah. So you've kind of already answered the next question. It's about support, it's about training, it's about communication.
Yeah, so that's another, I think that we can touch on that as well, because as another part of it was we'd met Lee and spoke about it, and Locke and our owner was quite keen to go the next step, but it was the fact that Lee, and I think even I think it was him at that point. He jumped on and just showed us what to do. Got everyone in on a call. There's Google Meet, whatever. It was just found a way to work for everyone, and trained us all on how to use the system from the outset. Because there was a few quirks. It was always can be something under. So and I think we were well trained as well, which is another really.
I suppose. The approach that we have as a business is the more help that we give PVO at the start of the process, then the better they're going to know the platform. If you just leave people to sort of fend for themselves, this is going to be going on for years. But at some point, you get to a position where our users know the platform as well as it does. So it's a good place to do it. So next question, how has WeQuote changed the way you create and manage quotes or proposals? How has it changed?
Well, it's everything we do, so it's changed our whole process. That is our core process on how we do all our quotes, manage everything, and stay up to date with the latest product pricing. And I think the other part of it was really cool was building the custom template with you guys as well. So we built a custom proposal, so we looked a bit more unique. And then all the other parts were when we signed up, it was all built there was a sort of a skeleton version or something that we could use straight away, and then we've kind of adapted that and changed a little bit maybe the terminology or the sections or the type of quote we're presenting. But we've taken all of what Lee would do and what he's suggested, and put that all in, and
and I think hopefully there's going to be people watching this clip of you and I speak.
Yeah.
If they're interested. And there's going to be people that are on the platform. There's going to be people that have never heard of WeQuote. There's going to be people that are looking into a new software. And it's really important for them to understand, well, there's not just going to be one proposal template, because you're wearing different hats on different days.
Yeah.
So, if you're just doing a cinema room, then you're going to have a different template for, just doing a control automation system. So, we'd always advise having multiple templates. It's not a one-size-fits-all policy. Yeah. So which features do you find most valuable in your day-to-day operations? So catalog linking, branded proposals, project management, accounting integration. Like, you maybe just answer for yourself. Like, is your daily work, what is your best friend at WeQuote? Like, which part of the software?
Yeah, I think it's building the quote template. So it's adding in the areas and having the toolboxes there loaded up with items relevant for that system. Yeah. I think that's one of the easiest features. You just click on it and you click on the area you want it to add in, and you're done. For sure. Yeah. So for me, it's definitely still the quoting side of it. I mean, we use it we do have the work hub enabled, so I do use that as well. Have the engineers on site with the Snag app. So sure, yeah.
How has it improved communication or visibility across your team? WeQuote, if it adds.
Yeah, especially around the engineers going on site. They've got they've got a bill of materials, or they've got a task which is loaded up with the items on the quote. Yeah, so that's really handy there. They know what they're doing. I know the area it's going in. Yeah. So that's a big part of. That was another pain point we had as well, where we were using another software that was independent. So sure, it wasn't merged with the quote and following that whole process along. Same for service. They take on the finished project, which is updated bill of materials, and then any of the reporting the engineers have done within that. Within the Snag part of it, so when they're taking on that job now, it's like, it's all in one place. It's all Shrine form, updated bill of materials.
Yeah.
And then, you got the front, I look at it, I don't know if everyone else does, but the front page, when you click on it, you see like how much people sold and how much the company's got in the pipeline. Yeah, that kind of thing's quite cool too, that we're all tuned in on that.
Yeah, just that overview pages.
Yeah. The first thing you see is like it's all focused around how much
it's number and it's data. It's important for any business to have that. Are there any integrations, such as QuickBooks Xero and distributed catalogs that make your life easier? Like, do you connect with?
Yes. Yeah. So we've connected QuickBooks, which is the accounting software that we use. Yeah. And that again saves time, because I used to have to email to create an invoice, and if that person's off, then I can't get the invoice created, because obviously not everyone's got QuickBooks access.
No, for sure.
But it's basically given everyone the access to QuickBooks.
Yeah.
But from just a creating an invoice part, not from a seeing the finances of the business. We can all create invoices, which is it's very liberating. It's can be quite a challenging process, and it's all then stored, and the accountant's happy. So that's the main thing. Is like, as long as she's happy, then I'm good. Yeah.
So I'm happy where integration works smoothly for you.
It is. Yeah, it's really good. There was a few things we had to work out on what we need to do, when we're voiding an invoice and these kind of things. But it does reflect also on, once you do change, it does reflect on WeQuote. Surely. The rest good. So I know that if that invoice has been voided, then, I can create a new one, and it goes into a separate part of your door. Great. There's that part. Yeah.
Great. Can you share any metrics or tangible results that you've seen since implicating WeQuote? So for example, time saved per quote, or increased quote conversion rate, or maybe faster project turnaround, fewer errors. Like, are you able to sort of tangibly give us an idea on that?
Or it's probably not tangibly. You can't give you a time, specific time there. But I know for myself, it's definitely faster making a quote.
Yeah.
So that's that. From my experience, I know that it's taken me. Yeah. I don't know if I had to do a mass, let's say an hour quote on details. I'm doing it in like 10 minutes maybe. So, and that's great to do. Yeah, maybe something like that, or like maybe 20 minutes, or
Well, that's what we're here to do. Yeah, we're a time-saving tool. We go to these shows and we see potential new customers, and we see current customers being like, I used to spend 4 hours going in and out of this. I'd be mad. Now they're doing it in 20 minutes. And
because on that other software, you have to connect to the server. So you're going out, you're loading up, and then you make a mistake or need to do a change. There's not the same yeah, it's not as quick. It's not as even that part of it. Obviously, then there's all the products you need to add in manually. Yeah, you need to check the prices right. So you need to make a deal and call the supplier, but you'd have to do that because after there's already about half an hour.
Yeah, so I suppose that's another kind of offset question, like change orders and stuff. Well, yeah, our process is streamlined. Yes, you can see every change order that's ever been in the software, and that just works. Being able to see historic change orders and have as many, because we know in this nature of the business is things are changing the whole time.
Yeah,
and to actually manually change prices, net revision prices in your header on Excel, it's just going to take a long time.
No,
so the platform does that for you.
Yeah, I think I did a job where it was, I think we got some 99 changes on the project by the end of it. Yeah, nearly got to 100, but last that one off. Yeah.
Has WeQuote affected your team's morale or productivity? Do you know what kind of already answered that?
Yeah, it's become, with the snag app is good. I think the guys are going straight to that. They see where they need to go. There's the address on there. Reach out and make sure that all that information's in there. Yeah, I think from the engineer's point of view, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
And then, it's nice to look at a nice user interface. Yeah.
Would you recommend WeQuote to other integrators?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Great.
Yeah, that's great. What advice would you give to a company considering the switch to WeQuote?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, definitely do it. And I mean, absolutely. Yeah, great.
And how do you see WeQuote fitting into your long-term business growth?
And I think, from the licensing point of view, the fact that you can add as many people to the team, there's no extra costs. So that's always good. But yeah, I think with WeQuote growing as well, I think the fact that there's so many changes and such a active software that's developing, they can develop with the business essentially, because if there's things you need changing, that can be implemented, or there's stuff that you want customized, that can happen as well.
Sure. Yeah. And then any final thoughts about your experience with the platform or the team? Anything that might be anything you hope might be there in the future, or anything you've done that we think we can improve on, are there any final thoughts?
I think the project management side of it is the procurement side. It's just like when you're doing the management of the time on a project. I think Lee was talking about adding that in to having not like dates and things like that added into the job, and building a program from that, because you've got the data in for when you're booking engineers is a bit different. That's more like your day-to-day stuff, which is more like planning, future planning.
Sure.
Like building the project within WeQuote would be quite cool as a management tool.
Yeah.
And then assigning the tasks in there so you can overlap the two. So you can see, okay, we've got an engineering pinch maybe in the future rather than what we've initially, doing day to day. So yeah, that kind of thing. I was quite interested to see what comes out of it. And then inventory, we haven't explored the module, so I would like to see that, because that's another part of it that I feel was missing. That is, like store, like having a store. We've got a store. We've got stuff that's here and not on site. So at the moment, all we're doing is saying to the project and the product that it's been delivered.
Yeah.
But where does it go from there? Because it's delivered, could be here or there, So it'd be good to track that, which I think that's available.
Well, it's available. Yes, it's being used by a lot of our users. It's being used in the UK, in the US.
I'd like to get my answer. So
we're going to give the Alex price tomorrow. Good. And we'll move conversations forward. Well, I mean, as I say, really appreciate your time.
Mr. Robert,
chat.
Yeah.
That's a lot for your time.
Cheers. Thanks.